Hello and welcome to Stateside on Politics Social. And I am joined for the first time this year by Brenna Duncan. How you doing over in California, in Orange County?
Today is a holiday,
Oh,
so
is it? Is
it's
that just
Martin Luther
coincidence?
King.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody
So
hell.
I
So it's
get
Martin Luther King's birthday today.
yeah.
Oh,
So I
jeez.
get today off, so that's
No,
why I'm
it's his
here
day
because
today.
The irony.
usually I would be working at this point.
Okay, well, it's nice to have you with us. And we've also got Mikey
Yeah.
Famine over in Chicago, Illinois. How you doing, Mikey?
Uh, Hello from the home of the resistance.
Hey, that's what I like to hear. So what's
Yeah.
happening? What's happening? Has anything happened today? Is anything going on in America?
Cecile Richards, the former president of Planned Parenthood, passed away today.
Yeah, I heard that. That's really sad.
She was a labor organizer. She was Planned Parent. She did, she was a big part of Planned Parenthood
Yeah.
and reproductive rights, here in America. So her passing, that it was quite a shock.
Yeah.
And
She was only young. She
I'm
was only
kind
like
of feeling
67,
bad.
wasn't
Yeah,
she?
she was young. And she was just at the convention,
Yeah.
making a big speech. She looked fine. I don't know. It kind of affected me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
She's
sorry.
she's a we like our fighters.
Mm.
So, and she was a big fighter. So
The
I feel
other
bad.
thing that happened is that Donald Trump made history today. Did you know about this? He made history as the first person to be sworn in as American president with a diaper filled with shit.
Are you sure?
Yes. He absolutely shat himself. There's no evidence for it, but it's a fact.
Reagan might have shit himself too.
Yeah, that was the last time they had an indoor ceremony because it was too cold
For the,
to be outside.
because the pants shitters can't take the cold. Goes right through their old bones, Annie.
My conspiracy is that he didn't move it in for the cold. I think he moved it in because it was easier to control people.
It's scarred. Him scarred. Him don't want to be outside. It's scarred.
He is
Pretty
nearly
much.
100 years old and full of shit.
He's closer to 100 than 50.
Yeah, a lot closer. Hello, everybody in the chat. How is everyone doing? We've got Jeannie Bottle in
Hi,
there. We've got
chat.
Plum Duff. We've got Ed Stacey. Gary Arnold. We've got One Angry Pagan. We've got MH Carer. We've got Xavier in the chat. We've got Pete's Music. We've got everyone
Power to the
tonight.
people.
It's really good turnout. If you would like to join our wonderful socialites in the chat, all you need to do is press that subscribe button under the video and wait for 30 seconds and you should be able to add your thoughts. Don't be a troll or we'll kick you off. You'll still be able to watch. You just won't be able to do anything about it. A bit like a eunuch in the days of old.
Hey, Graham, can you start calling your followers of your channels? Can they be the socialists?
The socialists? Yeah, oh God, that would scare Americans, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The socialists are coming for you. The socialists are coming to take your farm, Mikey.
But I haven't got a farm. They've been here already.
Ah, that's why you haven't got a farm. It's because of all the
taken
trans socialists that have come and taken your farm from you. So the first thing,
The trans farmers are next.
Trump's got a hundred executive orders that he's going
I
to
hope
sign
somebody
today.
wrote them down because he does not know what they are.
Well, one of them is absolutely horrific towards transgender people in America. It's going to reverse being able to have an X on your passport as your gender. It's also going to make trans people banned from the military. It's also going to make any transgender woman who is currently incarcerated be transferred from the prison they're incarcerated in to a male prison. And that's just today. And then there's the other stuff about people coming over the border. They had set up something so you could go to the border and you could claim for asylum, and now they've just dropped all them. So these aren't people that are legally in the country.
Hold on a second. Like, can we do the first thing first? I was waiting for you to finish like the thing on the first topic, and then you did topic
sorry.
two.
Sorry, I got distracted.
It's like that. Like, this is a perfect example of one of those things. Okay, implement it. You know what I mean? Because like the number of trans people who are coming out of the closet is rising. But dude, talk about a needle in a needle stack.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna take you all fucking 4 years to do that. You know what I mean? Like that is gonna take like just that idea that I will ban all of these people from this said thing. Sure, that's the cloud in the sky that you see that looks like a hippopotamus.
Yes.
But it's not a hippopotamus, bro. And you can't just like remove people from their thing because they have unfortunately rights as American citizens. So guess what? If you are removed from any government job or the military or anything, get a lawyer. You're about to get rich. Sue all of them.
ACLU.
Sue all of
ACLU is
them.
going to be very busy.
So
You're going to be
will this?
so rich, you'll be able to leave the country and not have to be bothered by any more transphobes when you're living on your own personal island like Scouser or Junior Island.
Go live on mine if you want.
Island.
Seriously, I could do
It-
the
it's
custodian.
As soon as they discriminate, you call a lawyer and you get them. This is idiotic. And the thing is, the state and local level, they're going to have to pay that out because they're going to lose that case.
Would they always lose that case? Because aren't there a lot of Trump appointees on the state benches and federal benches at the moment of the judiciary?
Can't override the Constitution. We're not presidents.
Yeah, but
You know
isn't
what I
it
mean?
the interpretation that's the worry? Because they'll go, oh well, you know.
That's why you need the lawyers that know how to
Okay.
deal with
Are they
the
gonna-
Constitution.
Fair enough.
Are they going to take every single one of those cases all the way up to the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court usually only sees about 10 cases a year, maybe less.
Unless it's really important, Mikey, like the TikTok.
Well,
ban,
this
then they
is
have to
what's going to
prioritize
happen.
that.
This is what Trump, the felon in chief, is trying to do. Is that he's trying to create chaos so that the Supreme Court allows him to do this. And so he's going to just flood them with all these horrible things. We're talking, I mean, of course we're talking about trans people, but we're also talking about immigrants of all different classes of immigration, of immigrants that are going to be, everything's going to be challenged. We do not have the resources in order to implement these things. Just like Mikey said, we don't have the people willing to do all this. Just like Mikey said, these things are not going to be done in a manner that's going to satisfy his base because he does not care about these things. Yeah. The only things he cares about are the people who love him and the people who are going to give him money.
Yeah. This is going to be the biggest heist, isn't it, of all time?
It's a huge grift, everybody. This is a grift. The TikTok thing, that was a grift.
Yes. And
this Panama shit, this is a grift.
And the coins,
he's trying to get
the Bitcoins. He decided to launch his own cryptocurrency for 2 days.
I wanted to talk about that for just a hot second.
Mikey, before you do...
Fuck the emoluments clause. Like, fuck that. Yeah. Just throw it away. We don't even need it anymore.
Exactly.
Before we talk about that, I've got a couple of super chats that came a while ago, and I haven't actually acknowledged them yet. So, Paul, first of all, Paul Ewan, thank you so much for the £5 and your beautiful words. Good evening, America, from your emotional support UK. We're all animals here. We'll keep the kettle on and the biscuit tin full if you ever need a sanity break. Oh, that's very nice. Sweet of you. It's very, very thoughtful of you, Paul. And
I'm actually hoping to go to London.
Oh, cool.
My American football team is playing in London this upcoming year, and it's my 40th birthday. They will lose.
Oh, really?
What do they show
they're
to the
Cleveland Browns
against a British team.
But so they're actually one of the teams that are going to be playing in London. So I'm hoping that it's part of my
Browns?
Yeah.
When's that happening?
I don't know.
Okay.
And I'm waiting for them to put out the schedule, but once they put out the schedule, I'm hoping that I can use my 40th birthday as an excuse to go to London.
That's 10 years from now, Brenna.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, Mikey.
Ages. we smooth operator there. Darren, thank you very much. Oh, I pressed the subscribe button instead of the super chat button. Look what I did there.
Yeah, subscribe to Darren, I guess.
Subscribe to Darren. Thank you, Darren Christian, for the £5 super chat. Darren says, Trump the Carpathian has been sworn in. Now 'tis the season of evil. You know, I went to see Nosferatu the other day. We made Ben, and all the way through, he kept on pointing out how much the vampire sounded like the Count from Sesame Street. And so I just couldn't take the film seriously. Ben, you ruined that film for me, mate.
Once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
2, 3.
My daughter is watching old school Sesame Street as we
Oh,
speak.
no!
Oh, yay!
The count is in there
best?
like really kind of late. I didn't realize he's like a 90s creation. He wasn't back in the OG days.
Yeah.
So but she loves the ones from the 60s where Big Bird's costume is really challenging, and Oscar's orange.
Oscar's orange. Oscar the Grouch used to be orange.
Do they have bell bottoms yet?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
fantastic.
Because
But
that's
the music is so good in this season. Like that's why I don't mind her watching. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
it's
6,
just
7,
so
8,
funky.
9, 10,
Oh,
11,
that's
12.
classic. That's always been on Sesame Street. Sorry, I'm talking about Sesame Street.
We've got
Save PBS, people. Save PBS.
We've got a request here from Tim Ballum saying, thank you very much for the £10 super chat, Tim. Graham, can we do a view along of the Larry and Paul broken news report from today for our American friends? I don't think I can do this, but as Mikey tells you about the Bitcoin shit, okay, right? Because you were about to talk about that before I interrupted to point out the super chat. I'm gonna see if I can make it so you can hit, because I'll be able to show you here, obviously, the video. But then again, actually, I could just present it, couldn't I? I could just present it on Zoom. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna get Larry and Paul's.
You're doing the thing where you're not letting me cover for you. You're talking about what should cover for you.
Quick, cover for me. Right.
Gotcha.
Right,
so this Bitcoin thing.
Let's talk about Bitcoin.
Okay, first of all, I think it was somebody on MSNBC. Maybe it was Lawrence O'Donnell, maybe. But I think it's a good idea to not call the Department of Government Efficiency by the meme dog name, because they named it that so that all of the shares that they have in that coin will get inflated every time it's talked about. You know what I mean? So I get it now. But speaking of Bitcoin, this fool is doing one of the largest rug pulls on a Bitcoin that I have ever, like, it's bad, dude. Like, so like, Voidzilla, who's a very prominent, like fiscally investigatory YouTuber, talked about how like everybody knows, like, to like as a form of scale for some of these coins, the S&P 500, everybody knows what that is, and then like some of the like 65 million or $1 billion for Target, and such billions for these like Walmart's like 100 or 300 billion. Trump's coin did like what, 70 billion and like overnight. There's no stores, there's no nothing. It doesn't. It's a Pokemon card. You know what I mean?
A digital Pokemon card, because it's not even like one that you can hold.
My Pokemon cards.
Yeah, it's from the Pokemon card game that you get on your phone.
Well, I mean, it was worth a lot of money, kind of, until, you know, they sold all of it and then bought into the Melania coin, which just dropped. And I'm like, Brenna, what say you? Because we talked about the emoluments clause the first time around, where he refused to divest. He refused to put his stuff into a blind trust so that he wouldn't be financially compromised. But here we are again, and he's got a brand new scheme.
Nothing's going to happen. The Supreme Court's not going to do anything. The Senate, nobody's going to do anything. They're just going to cheer it on, because we live in this horribly capitalist society in which money is king. And the more money you can make, the more money you can show that you make, the more prominent you are in our society. That's why somebody like the felon is so regarded as being intelligent and being good at being business and being well connected, is because he seems to have all this money, and he does not care about anybody but himself and his comrades. This is an oligarchy that we have.
Yes.
It's not even that it's going to happen. Money is the way that he's going to be ruling this country until we can actually do something about it. And it will take a lot of people doing a lot of things at the same time.
Yeah.
And we have to do that, but we won't, because we're lazy as well.
I'm going to jump in and play the Larry and Paul clip to you now. I hope you can see it. If you can't, I apologize profusely. But I'm going to just share my screen with you now. Let us share. And then I want that one. And I want to share the sound with you. And then we go share. Okay. Now that's made that go weird there. But that's okay because I can show it to everybody else here. So just let me...
You need a Mikey famine around here.
Ah, it's really cool. Right, are you ready? Ready for this?
Do it.
Welcome to Broken News. After a good run of almost 250 years, the democratic nation state will close down today. Our reporter has more.
Sorry about the sound.
Well, it feels like this moment has been coming for quite some time, and now, finally, here it is. There were, of course, signs from the start it was all going to go tits up, having a temper tantrum early on and kicking the British out when we were doing an excellent job, choosing to drive on what is absolutely and obviously the wrong side of the road, and unilaterally removing the letter U from perfectly good words. Don't even get me started on aluminum. It was, in many ways, a life well lived. A nation that brought so much to the world. Big cars, big medical bills, Broadway, bourbon, Beyonce, Boeing, the Brooklyn Bridge, and barbecue braised brisket. Much there were troubles in this nation's history too, when it shot 2 of the good presidents and none of the bad ones, did a lot of war and ethnics for ages, created its own unfathomable sport which lasts forever and consists mainly of adverts, and of course the mind-boggling culinary crime biscuits and gravy, which in the UK is a sex game for young hot public schoolboys.
Offended.
Over the years, the land of the free and the home of the brave became the land of the batshit and the home of the what the fuck are you doing, stop shooting at me, where did you even get that gun, you're 12 years old. It seemed like the writing was on the wall. There have been attempts to save Uncle Sam, most recently a half-assed reboot in 2020, led by a man so old his social security number is 4, and then, after his batteries ran out last year, giving his replacement just 4 days to win an election. That last throw of the dice, surprisingly, didn't work. So we say goodbye to the USA. A sad day for many, although some say they could care less, which doesn't make any sense. It couldn't care less. Just think about it for a second. Back to you.
Thank you. What a lovely story. That's all from Broken News. You're up to date.
I like how the Mount Rushmore said they had to go.
Yeah.
They just flip it away right away. That's funny. Good times.
I got 1 star.
Hi, Liberia.
Like a Liberia. I love it. I love it.
That's good.
Oh my god. Anyway, so that was
Well played.
that was that.
I mean, hey, we had that coming. I mean, I let you motherfuckers have it for Brexit. Let me tell you.
Thanks for that, Tim.
I let you have it. So fair enough. Fair enough. I gotta.
Almost
That was
250 years.
fantastic. It was so good.
Almost 250 years.
Yeah,
we almost made it.
248 years.
Yeah, we almost had it.
Yeah. But I thought that about the Queen. Old Queenie nearly made it to 100. Actually, if she just lived a couple more years, she would have been the longest reigning monarch ever in history. She would have surpassed.
Oh no, didn't make it.
Louis
She would have
XIV.
given herself one of those congratulatory
Yeah,
100-year letters.
Yeah.
It would have been funny. I would have laughed.
Yeah, but never mind. So she'll always be my number 2 now. My big number 2. But there you go.
Me too.
Benjamin says, can you have Brenna and Mikey confirm that Trump can't repeal the 22nd Amendment without a 2/3 majority, and there's too many Dems for that to stop, for that to happen to stop the worry?
Let me double check what 22 is.
I'm not too sure about 22. Is that the one about banning alcohol or not banning alcohol?
Unbanning the banning?
On the banning the ban.
It's the term limits thing that they can only serve 2 terms. No, he'd have to get the states to not only Congress, but then it goes to the states. And you got to get 2/3 of the states. So
And
yeah,
that could actually take years. Like that could take
Yeah.
several years to get anything done, because what they have to do is they have to go each through their legislation and they have to agree upon it. And so that could go through years and years, and people could run on that. They could run on either passing that or, repealing or keeping it.
Blocking
So
it,
it's actually really bad politically to do something like that.
But the so just to go
it's
back
very risky.
Yeah.
Just to go back to the immigrants thing, so he's talking about ignoring the 14th Amendment and getting rid of birthright citizenship. Like, is there any legal way he can do that, or is that just going to be challenged in all the courts forever?
He's trying to get challenged. That's all he wants. He doesn't want it. He actually doesn't want anything to happen. So he's going to start doing all this stuff, and none of it's going to happen. It's all going to be blocked by courts. It's all going to be, because all you have to do is get people to block it, and then they can temporarily ban things.
It's all being every single step that he said that he's going to take. He's forgetting that there's going to be like a 6-month legal battle where it even has to get all the way up to the Supreme Court for his friends to do it. You know what I mean? Like, all of this stuff is getting litigated. So, every letter of everything he ever puts out for the next whatever.
So can the Supreme Court take as many cases as it wants and says, oh, we'll get around to that later? Can it do that? Or does it have like a maximum? It can say, look, we've already got 150 cases to get through. That's going to take the next few decades.
I don't think they like to work, so I don't know how that's going to work either. Clarence Thomas likes to be around in his motor coach.
Yeah, he likes his friends. He likes being on airplanes.
He doesn't work a lot. Like, these guys are not hard workers. Well, not the old heads that are in there, but the young ladies have gotten in there and they're ready to do some shit, and they're going to be doing a lot of nothing, because Clarence Thomas is not going to be like living in DC. That's not happening. Not for a year. He is not wasting half a year in this godforsaken Atlantic region. This motherfucker likes to be on yachts. He likes to be traveling.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, Jane Lockwood in the chat
for Trump to get what he wants.
Jane Lockwood saying he's only in it to A, keep out of jail, and B, make a ton of money. We've also got
illegally.
Yeah, Paul is nice. She says, Graham, you did a great video about America. You should play that one. It's a bit sad though. We're not going to play that one right now. But also that was the video I did over in Niagara Falls in the middle of December. It's absolutely freezing. And I didn't have my gloves with me, so I was holding the camera while I was holding my phone, and without gloves on. Yeah,
Graham, was the waterfall like liquid?
No, it was just. Well, yeah. It was, but you.
Then it wasn't that cold.
You couldn't see anything. That was all just mist.
It freezes all the way so that there's like
that'll be
a little river underneath
it.
Be
something to see. But you can go behind. You can go behind the waterfall. It's incredible. I'll have to do that. Tim Ballum, thank you very much for the £10 super chat, my friend. Says, didn't the 27th Amendment take over 200 years to pass? Well, not really.
There's only 26 of that.
Because it's not like they were trying to pass it for 200 years. It wouldn't be the 27th, would it? I don't know. What is the 27th? Have you got one? Is that
the last one was them and their pay rate?
Oh, okay. They haven't got one about equal rights for women yet, have they?
I saw Biden on a camera yelling about the ERA. I'm like, dude, don't talk.
We're supposed to.
That's the one for their salaries.
Red Scouse in the chat is saying, did anyone notice that Trumpy failed to put his tiny hand on the Bible when he was sworn in? He had 2 Bibles. He had Abraham Lincoln's one, and then he had another one. It's probably his own.
Why didn't he use? I was about to say he didn't even use his own branded shit. Like, what an idiot!
I was hoping that he would, because at least what would happen is that his sales would increase. Like, at least do something.
He didn't have a good.
I just want to inform everybody. I did not watch the inauguration. I do not want. I watched Star Trek. Like, that's all I need to watch in my life to believe that there is a better future.
What did you watch?
I'm watching a bunch of them. So I'm watching like Deep Space Nine and Voyager. Cool. So I watched Deep Space Nine, and I'm watching. It which is Deep Space Nine is hands down one of the best.
It wasn't that good until Babylon 5 came along and had to up its game. But we'll get into that on another show, I'm sure.
That's
Bella Glazier, it says, I might be asking because it's turned up slightly late, and we did cover this slightly at the beginning, but if you want to say it again and whatever, but is there anything that you can say to reassure the trans community? Because obviously there's a lot of trans people who watch this channel and they're feeling a little bit concerned at the moment about the way things are going.
Me?
Either one of you.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing. Listen, Jack, let me tell no. Here's the deal. They have to physically get us. You are not so easily physically gotten. Do not make yourself easily physically gotten.
I mean,
protect yourself. You guys know how to go stealth.
There's
not
enough.
that stealth, but like go like stay away from large public areas. Keep aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, it's hard to say that kind of stuff. Like, you know, as a woman in America, it's hard for us. We've dealt with threats. We've dealt with possibilities of harm upon ourselves in many situations. It's hard to say these kind of things, but there's enough people on your side. And for those who are allies, those who are on the side of the trans community, we need to be more forthright in our on our allyship, and we need to be better.
And by all means, this is not your time as a trans person to be an activist. This is your time to get behind your allies and let us stand in the gap for you. Do not be the spearhead of all these projects or like lead a march and shit like that. Like, don't do that, because you have to think strategically now, right? Because we're not in the polite times, we're in the survival times. So do what you got to do on the internet, but don't congregate in large groups like that. Well, we like to do our thing. Do it online and figure it out. It's not a good time.
Teach others. I think it's important just to be able to speak about yourself and get other people to be on your side. And
be your wonderful selves. This is not your doing. You know what I mean? Like if that's some sort of like reflexive self-hatred thing where it's like, oh, if it wasn't for me, all this wouldn't be happening. No. You keep your head down. We'll deal with these assholes. You know what I mean? They're the ones that are fucked up, not you. You be all right. Just keep your head down, and we're gonna have to fight these assholes. That's just the bare bones of it. They don't want to listen, so we're gonna have to fight. And that's cool.
Yeah, these incels are the big problem. The incels are the ones that are causing,
closet chasers is what they are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We talked about the fucking the point, because we talked about it on the Bin a couple times. The Bin Podcast Network. Go ahead and check it out over there at YouTube at the Bin Podcast Network. But we talked. I showed them on the Friday social, like the Pornhub stats. Dude, trans is up in all of the southern states. Trans categoried porn is up in all of those states. They are insecure and scared of the world, is what that is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a fine world. We just got to fix it a little bit.
Yeah. It's so sad that it does feel like we were getting there, and now we just had this huge setback, which is going to be a decade, 2 decades, maybe. I might be in my 80s before this shit gets sorted out.
Like the dream might have been shifted. You know what I mean? Like, so now our reasonable expectations of victory have shifted. Winning looks different now. The consequences of losing are much steeper.
It's almost like being nice, being I'm the good one is not good enough anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I think we have to be harder. We have to be we were talking, last month I was talking to my Democratic club that I'm a part of. And, we're restructuring, we're shifting our focus on more community things and stuff like that. And one of the things that I recommend is we Democrats have to brag.
Yeah.
We have to be able to talk about the things that we do.
Yeah.
And we have to do it with pride. And because we, for so long, we've been like, oh no, this is America. This is us. This is us working hard. No, the Republicans don't do shit.
No.
All they do is block, block, block.
Yep.
And we need to tell
people how to build anything.
That they don't know how to create a community that actually functions. They know how to create communities to break things.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we have to create communities in order to build.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that all these organizations that are working towards being, the nonpartisan, we're all working together. They have to stop. Yeah. They have to do better.
Yeah.
And that's something that is not being seen. And and here in California, like we just got the reports back, we're still the 4th largest economy in the world. We need to tell other states, you rely on California, stop shitting on us.
Yeah.
We're pulling a check.
Yeah.
We do not care about other, we are not taking anything from other states.
Yeah, they're taking it from you.
They are taking it from us. Yeah. And if somebody's going to be blocking aid to a state, it's not going to be to our state because we don't
need it.
We don't need it. We have our own money.
Yeah.
So the threats that the felon in chief have been making towards California, rebuilding Los Angeles, it's an empty threat. It's just for his own sake. It has absolutely nothing to do with what California can do. Our fires have devastated Los Angeles County and the surrounding areas. Devastated them. I have a friend who lost his house. I have people, I cannot go up and visit my friends because I can't go through some of the places that are blocked off. Our resources are all going up to Los Angeles. Yeah. And the threats that this person, who is supposed to be the uniter in chief, is making towards my state, me, is why I will never respect him in anything that he does. Because he has been shitting on California for decades. Even though he lives here. He has hotels and houses here. He has friends who live here.
They won't let him into the inner circle over there. That's what it is. They don't like him. Mm-hmm. He stinks like the East Coast, and he's a crook. So nobody lets him in the fucking pool
live
party.
In Orange County. Orange County is where Republicans went to because they got driven out of every other. And now we have to work towards getting the Republicans out of office because we're already facing one of the worst cities, the MAGA cities in Huntington Beach. Oh, like they want to dismantle our election system, which by the way, they cannot because it's California based.
Yeah.
But they have been trying to dismantle everything. They public libraries. They want to take away public libraries.
I don't need them reading them filthy books.
Right. Books.
He's gonna work at the Tesla plant. He's gonna be a good boy.
Well.
We've got Anthony Fisher here saying a bit of breaking news. He's claimed a state of emergency, just like Graham said he would this morning. And this is to do with the southern border. He did this last time.
He said there was an emergency for COVID so that he could stop people at the border. It's a phrase he uses.
Yeah.
Considering most of the like the border stations are in California, they can't do much about that because it's actually in California. So in order, there's not really like a border station. You have to go into California, into the border in order to get any access.
Surely Governor Newsom will just be super.
Governor Newsom has a lot more to deal with right now.
Yeah,
and we're going to need
Trump's
people
bullshit.
to rebuild our city, Los Angeles. And you're not going to get that from lazy Americans.
No.
What? No, they'll totally do it. But
they already
no,
tried that.
No,
they already tried it
unions.
in Florida, right? So Florida,
but no unions.
But Florida, they already
right.
tried it in Florida, that they tried to get rid of undocumented immigration to work, to take won't let them work. Farms just went dead.
Emptied out.
They went dead. They couldn't do anything because the Americans never showed up. The Americans didn't work very hard. The Americans complained about the prices, and that's what's going to happen here if you take away the people who are going to be building Los Angeles, Hollywood.
Yeah.
This is where, we already had trouble with COVID, pushed off production. The strikes pushed off production. You think that the fires are probably going to be pushing off production for a little while? Yeah. So all that entertainment that you love, gone.
Graham.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Uh-oh.
Take a look at me.
Oh wow.
Look at me.
That's the Niagara Falls when it's frozen.
Yeah.
Canada though.
I so would not be climbing that. That's really cool.
Damn you, Canada.
Well, Canada's our homies. There we go. Look at them sledding on the bottom part of a freaking waterfall. Like, what is life?
when you go there, Canada's got the best side of the Niagara Falls, gotta say. But America's got a little island in the middle of them, and you get to walk over the Bridal Falls, if you like. But the Horseshoe Falls are on the Canadian side.
I don't want that Canadian water ruining my proposal.
Wayne has just entered the chat. Hello, Wayne. Good evening.
Oh boy.
Hi,
Wayne.
Oh no. Batman the hatches.
Chris C says President Trump says he will declare a national energy emergency as one of his first acts of president, pledging to support the domestic production of fossil fuels. This is because he has to flush the toilet 7 times for his shit to
go down. That's because Biden judo blocked his ass. He's like, oh yeah, and one more thing there, bud. No more offshore drilling. The whole ocean is our.
We already produce more than necessary.
Yep. You export. One of the biggest exporters in the world.
We don't need. See, this is all performative.
He needs more money.
All this shit is performative. He's not doing it for any reason but his own self. Stop believing that he's going to make America great again. He's going to make Trump rich again.
Started shit, always going to be shit.
Yeah, but the people who voted for him don't give a fuck. They're not going to sit there and like 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, 16 years and go, oh, he didn't actually make things great again. I hate him now. Because they love him. No, they absolutely love him.
They're starting to turn on him.
But when their rent goes up because there's no more regulations
Mikey,
on the landlords, and they're allowed to just do whatever they want with people. And then when their gas goes up because the oil barons are oil barons.
Hey, he's back.
Oh
yeah, they are. They are.
Literally didn't hear it.
I think Trump's diddling with your internet. You're getting 2-speed internet now in the States, aren't you? Because net neutrality is out the window.
Because the oil barons are just gonna make more money. They're not gonna lower the gas prices, dumbass. We're gonna steal Canada because that'll make the eggs cheaper. That's where the eggs are from. Like, I don't know. Like, he's not gonna be able to provide his promises whilst wasting a 1,000 fortunes on his pet projects. It ain't gonna jive. But so when their groceries are still more, when their gas is still more, when their rent is still more, their wages are still down, and they got fired because they don't have union representation anymore. Like, they will never get what they want. They voted for their own execution. So convincing them that, this is your execution is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because it's coming for them whether they know it or not.
Jane Lockwood shares my concerns, saying, my worry is as soon as civil unrest starts, and it will, Trump will declare martial law and voting will cease. I think he'll wait till nearly the end of his term. I truly hope I'm wrong. Is that likely?
You could try it. That'd be a brave call.
The U.S. is a big place. It will take a lot of resources that he does not have. And that's a lot of people. It's a lot of organization. I don't know. Like I said before, his presidency may not last very long in the way that he believes it to be. In one respect or the other. And I think that's one of the best. That's
because spring's coming. Let's say he doesn't deport a single person, but you've scared people underground now that they won't go work.
Yeah.
Good job. Doesn't matter if he does it or not. Just saying it, you're going to fuck up the food. So the food prices, just expect this summer for shit to cost more.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be able to get things into the ground when they need to get it into the ground, because they're not going to have the workers, because he's scaring everybody off.
Is anyone going to point this out?
Farmers are his people.
Is anyone going to point this out? Are the Democrats going to point this out? Because they were so shite at pointing fucking anything that Trump did that was bad out in the campaign. Like the fact that he said he was going to build a wall. Where's your fucking wall, Donnie? I can't see a wall. Where was the video of Kamala going to Mexican border going, can't see a fucking wall? Where is it? Where's the wall, Donnie? Where's the wall?
That's the thing.
Why did that video not get made?
I'm getting angry even in my own community, where it's like those things that we do as the Democrats, as the liberals, as the community worker, like we are the ones that are building our community, and we're not saying anything about it. We're acting as if it's normal that the Republicans are saying no all the time. The Republicans are against giving free transportation to seniors, and why that is not normal.
Trump
like I don't care anymore about decorum.
Americans with COVID through his
I don't care about decorum anymore. I don't care about them not standing up. I keep saying, I have said for years, right, Mikey, that we need to be like the British Parliament, and we need to start yelling at each other and calling us out on our shit, because that's what's going to happen. None of these euphemisms. My colleagues on the other side. No,
fuck that.
The MAGA Republicans
the rapists
are the ones
on the
that
other
are
side.
The criminals who are coming, we have
the looters,
the America haters.
Yeah, the ones that are stealing your money and coming here and not showing up for work, but you're paying them. Are you okay with people being paid to not do their job?
Sounds like a
DEI
is that
okay? If I did that, they would fire me.
Yeah.
And I have a union.
Pretty sure if you mounted an insurrection, they'll fire you as well. Tim Ballum, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. It's very kind of you. Voters for Brexit, Graham. Farmers voted for Brexit, Graham. Yes, they did. Gobshites.
Is it because they thought that they would get more because you didn't import as much? It was harder to import.
They thought that they could get away with not doing as much in terms of regulations. They blame the EU for all the regulations that we had on us. But I mean, we still have those same regulations because you kind of have to have them, because they're not just there for a laugh. They're not just there to make farmers' lives a bit more difficult. It's there to protect
health and safety.
Yeah, well, it's there to protect their animals and their produce from disease, from fungus, from viruses, from mad cow disease and foot and mouth.
Yeah, well, we had that years ago when we had more salmonella outbreaks and things like that because of what the felon-in-chief did the last time.
That's gonna
happen. The amounts of deregulation. I mean, we already had bird flu.
Yep.
That's just going to come back in droves.
One of the Chicago zoos, we lost a seal because a sick bird died in its cage and got it sick.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Poor seal.
I'm very worried about, because we do have, I volunteer at a animal shelter, and I can't go there because these are street animals, and who knows if they have bird flu, and I don't want to bring that into my cats. Yeah. So it's horrendous what's happening right now. And we've been under a state of emergency here in California because of the bird flu.
Wow.
So we have to that's one of the reasons why our eggs are so expensive right now. And they're hard to find.
No, it's because of the lesbian chickens.
Because of the trans.
It's the DEI hires.
The DEI chickens
using the wrong toilet at the gas station.
That's actually why our fire started, was because of DEI hires in the trans community.
The woman who was in charge of one of the 6 fires,
and black people, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, she wasn't heterosexual, and that started the fire.
The water's gay, man.
The frogs are turning you gay.
Yeah.
I think someone
Jones was right.
I think someone merged the songs fire, danger, high voltage, fire in the Taco Bell with the other Electric Six song, which is gay bar. So they thought that the fire started in a gay bar, and that's why all those fires happened. No, clearly,
especially in Malibu.
I mean, typically those fires start from gender reveal parties when they use explosives like morons.
Hey, that was the last time.
Someone died.
This time it's different.
Did you know that, Graham? Did you know that, Graham? That was a gender reveal that started. Oh,
yeah, they cost something like $3 million worth of damage or something fucking crazy.
We had several fires in California.
Yeah.
Animals gone. People evacuating.
And that was
due to gender reveal
people,
parties.
That was cisgender people doing cisgender things.
See?
Imagine if it had been
a
trans out party, do you know what I mean? To reveal their new name and everything. That's
the only gender reveal party I'm going to be at.
Could you imagine? The backlash. We got another super chat come in from Chris C. Thank you very much. Once again, it's poor comms from the Democrats. We've got the same thing over here. You can say, well, we prefer it to be more like the UK system, but our left wing are so shite at comms, it makes me just weep blood. And then we've got Puddinator with a £10 super chat. Thank you very much, Puddinator. For the first time in history, I wish Trump good health because he is stupid evil. But Vance as Prez, in case of his demise, would be worst, in my opinion. He is Trump without the mental decline.
But he won't have Elon.
I would rather have Vance.
He'll lose the whole fan base, dude. The whole he is Vance, a pip. He is not Gladys Knight.
No. The one good thing about JD Vance is that he is so well hated in the political community that people will stop listening to him. Yeah. Like at least Trump has like people behind him, but Vance doesn't.
Vance is about as likable as a day old turd. Do you know what I mean? Like nobody likes him. Like no one warms him. No one voted for him to be vice president. They just voted for Trump, and he happened to be on the ticket.
Hey! How long you been working here? How long have you been working here? How long have you been working here?
Yeah,
like that was him connecting with the people at the donut shop. How long have you been working here? Like,
no social skills.
What the fuck? Get this guy.
Talk about the male loneliness epidemic.
Just slowly back away and call the police. There's a strange man here claiming to be the vice president.
He's like trying to make friends with people and he doesn't know how.
Yeah.
It's so robotic. It's so sad.
But I'm with you, Brenna, when you say like the left, they're just too nice. We're just too nice. We've got to stop it because they're pissing all over us and they're destroying people's lives.
And I think I've said the exact same thing to you. Like, I'm tired of this being nice. I'm tired of this, like, all things are going to be good. If we just work together, they're not going to work with us.
No.
Like we have to be honest, and we have to talk about the things that we are doing, and we need to brag about them.
Yeah.
And I have my county supervisor, so the one that's part of the board for the county. She's really good at saying, hey, you know what we did? We did all these things. The vets, you care about the vets. We helped them. We got you money, because, you know, we got from the state, we got reimbursement for the horrific gas prices that happened during COVID.
Yeah.
She took that money, made it into gift cards, sent it out to the people. Like she did that. She helped with the oil spill that was in Huntington Beach a couple years ago. She did that. Yeah. Like all these things that like she bragged about it, but she didn't do it in a mean way. She did it in a perfectly honest way. Hey, look what I did.
Also, there is a very real need in the US and the UK and everywhere else where the dark is rising to identify what these MAGA dickheads, the Brexit dickheads, the AFD dickheads, what do they care about? And just bang on about that all the time, 24/7. That's the only thing that you concentrate on, because it's no good going on about, minority rights and things like that. I'm talking about, not talking about, in a personal capacity or, going to court or whatever. I'm talking about as a politician, because you're not going to win over any of these knobheads, or at least get them to stay at home and not bother voting, which is, the best outcome you can hope for in a lot of these situations. But find out what do they care about? NASCAR, family. I mean, what do right-wingers give a shit about? And just absolutely press on that all the time and say, Trump is taking away your NASCAR. Trump is trying to split your family up. Why don't they make a big thing about that? When did you last see your grandchild? Oh, was it 8 years ago? Why is that? And it's like Trump comes to the door. I'll be your grandchild now. And you're like, that's really creepy. You're a creepy weirdo. Go away, creepy weirdo, man. And he sends them off.
My grandchildren are out
and then
of
the
diapers.
Grandchildren come out and they're like, oh, is it safe to come out now, Grandpappy? And you see tears in his eyes. He's like, I've missed you so much. Oh, you've grown. And fucking put me in charge.
Finn. And then like just a
Finn.
You have like a little rose that pops up and then it wilts.
Find out, identify what chimes with these motherfuckers and just step on it. Step on that pressure point.
But Graham, I keep trying to tell you about those things, and that's the things that MAGA cares about. Yeah. It is the gas, because he promised the gas was going to get low. Dude, before 9/11, we had gas that was like $1.99, $1.75 sometimes.
It was less than $1 here in California.
It was a golden age, right? And that's what he's got that in their head, that's what they want. They can't have that.
The thing is that he's not going to fix their problems.
So we can't, that's what I'm saying. We have to keep pointing out where he's going to break his promises. Yeah. No one can provide the promises that he says. No one. We shouldn't even want the things that he wants.
Mikey, it's because
hold on, you're doing it. No one even wants the things that he's proposing in actuality. You don't want what's necessary for your gas to be $1. You don't want what's necessary because there's all this fallout. And being the salesman, he's not like he's pitching the positives for the drug, but he's not talking about the side effects.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Telling people what the side effects are is the key.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll get to where we want them to go all on their own as soon as they find out what the side effects are for what he's proposing.
But you have to pin it on them, because you know what he's like. He will make it about he'll say the Democrats did this.
We lost everything.
I was trying to make it cheap. It won't be true, but that's what he'll do. The trans community did this. It was the LGBT. It was the black people. It was the Latinos. It was anyway. Brenna's got a hand up.
Yeah. The thing is that if he actually wants to do what he wants to do, such as lowering gas prices, lowering the prices of groceries, all these things that he has promised, he has to go after corporations. And that's something A, he will not do. And B, his base doesn't realize that they would have to do that. And thus making the idea that being wealthy is somehow, like I said, makes you smarter, makes you better, makes you more connected. And that's not what they want. Because what you would have to do is you would have to do antitrust laws, which they don't want, because
Zuck hates that.
Exactly. Also taxing wealthy, and when somebody says taxes, they believe that it's them. Like, I'm the one that's going to be taxed at some 35% or whatever it was in like the 50s when we had money. It was huge. It was like 95% of capital gains or something like that, which is why we could build. That's why we could build. But they won't do that because they believe that when he's talking about taxing and removing taxes, he believes that it's for them, when in reality, it's for the corporations and his buddies. Like, they're not realizing that because they are not educated on taxes.
Yes.
Because they have never been, because we took out economics, we took out civics, we took out government years and years ago. So then all that
social
stuff,
studies, all social studies, one topic.
I agree up to a point. However, I'd say, didn't they do that? Didn't he do that in his last term of office, where basically taxes for the ordinary people went up, but then he had massive tax base for corporations and billionaires, and they re-elected him? I mean, when I talk about stuff that they care about, I just don't think they care about that.
Because he created the problem.
With Brexit over here. We're trying to explain economic stuff. It just goes over their heads. They just shut off. But if you say to them, the price of a pint of beer has doubled, and that's because of Brexit, that's something that they can get their head around, because it's easy. It's just a pint.
Except for the cognitive dissonance when you talk to them about something like tariffs, and how tariffs from China are actually going to be on a when we say, hey, tariffs are not a tax on the imports themselves, it's on us.
Yes.
It's on the people importing, which means that it's going to be us. They don't understand that, because there is a cognitive dissonance where it says, actually, we're forcing China to do it. No, that's not how tariffs work.
But you struggle.
Even somebody as dumb as I am can figure out how tariffs work.
First of all, you're not dumb. Secondly, like, trying to explain this to people, it's like trying to play chess with a pigeon. Like, just don't even bother trying to explain. Just go. The eggs. See those eggs that you thought were going to be cheaper? They're more expensive. Do you know why? Trump tariffs. Because you're paying them. It's a tax on us.
Yeah.
But Trump keeps going out in front of a camera and re-poisoning the water, because he's stupid, and that's how he thinks it works. So that's why they think it works that way.
Yeah.
Because he's a moron.
And there's
he's
not
the one at
enough
the 6th grade reading level.
There's not. This is why I've stopped watching cable news.
Yeah.
Because there's not going to be enough pushback. Because he could say something that's ridiculous and a lie, and then go on cable news and say, hey, this is wrong, this isn't true. That's not going to change anything. The people who are still watching CNN and MSNBC are still going to be watching it. It's not going to change anything unless it's on Fox News and Newsmax. So it's worthless. It's a worthless thing to say. Like, I'd rather somebody tell me the news. I'd rather somebody actually write down and say, this is what's happening, and this is the ways that you can actually do. You need to contact anybody in government that is in your area, whether it's your senator, whether it's your congressperson, whether it's your governor, your city council. You need to contact him and say, this is what I want to happen. And we're not doing that enough. We did that.
Yeah.
We did that before. And we got on the midterms after the first inauguration of the felon, that we did that, and we changed Congress. And that
the
helped
red wave
a lot. He stopped doing anything, and he left, and we did that. So it's going to takes that kind of work. It takes that kind of effort, and we need to be able to do that.
I have a question for Brenna. Brenna,
Yes.
with the woeful performance from the Democrats, do you think that a viable third party, like, I don't know, some progressives that seem to be being groomed by Bernie Sanders right now, he's doing interviews with a few young people to hopefully get a progressive caucus going. How do you feel about that, and would you support it?
I'm not part of that particular wing of the liberals. I'm not the progressive one. I'm a California Democrat. We've lived through hell before. We're very comfortable where we are. I'm going to say it will be hard to do. Do I think, like, Bernie Sanders, what he has to say is resonant with a lot of people? Absolutely. I think he has a lot more influence than he gives himself credit for, and we give himself credit for. Do I think that there are many options out there that are going to come out of the woodwork? Absolutely. party is viable in the American voter system? Absolutely not. I don't think we're set up for that. And right now we need to get back on course. I think we failed with Hillary, we failed with Kamala, but it doesn't mean that the energy is not there. But we will see, Mikey. I'm keeping myself open.
Well, goodbye, Democrats. I will be heading the progressive wing of, and I will be fighting the Democrats and the Trumpers to take over the earth. As it stands.
I think Brenna makes a good point there. We had to defeat the Tories, and voting for individual parties in the way that we were doing up to that point didn't work. In fact, the vote share didn't change that much in the last election. It was just we voted a lot smarter. We used a lot of tactical voting, stop the Tories.vote and all that. And it meant that instead of just getting a handful of MPs, the Liberal Democrats got like 80 MPs or 70 odd MPs. The Greens, instead of getting one MP, they got 4 for a change, because it's constituency by constituency and people work together. And there was a non-aggression pact between the parties. You don't really have that in the States. And I think the point when a third party should emerge is during a time when the Democrats are in office and they're not doing
almost like a time of peace.
Yeah.
Like when we're not trying to fight.
In a time of peace at the moment.
We are not. We are fighting against the rise of MAGA fascism right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's good if we actually focus on that and not focus on, like, it's a hard thing. There are so many of us. There's so many people in the United States, and there's so many people. We have all these kind of governments, we have all these organizations. And if we start focusing on actually getting rid of people who are causing the problems, I think we'll be a lot more successful. And we did do that.
But they're
I'm telling you,
900.
Not
and
everybody.
They still won't go, and they still won't go. They just
I think
everything.
that's what, we were saying before. It's like the Democrats are not being loud about what they need, what they want, what they're doing. And if we start getting a little bit more aggressive towards the people who have been there for a while, and to say, look, we're not trying to dismantle everything that you have successfully done in your life. We're trying to stop you from doing shit again like that. I'm sorry, Mikey, I'm sorry. I don't believe in the same things you do. But I'm not against you. I'm just for something different. And it's important that we don't get like arguing over minutia. Age is not a problem for me.
But they're throwing away other groups. And I think it's because they're old and they're bigoted a little bit, and they don't like to accept new things and new groups of people. So like, it's hard for somebody like if you're a Palestinian queer, it's hard to tell them, okay, we're going to get back on the Democratic train and we're just going to fix it. And then we're going to get past this problem. Like, it's hard to sell that, you know what I mean? And the numbers show it. So we need something. So we either need like a total rip up the floorboards and we're starting from scratch from the Democratic side, or else people are not coming back. Like the brand is damaged.
I'm agreeing that like identity politics it's gone too far. We cannot live on this person just because this person checks all these boxes that they are the best thing, the best person for the job. We need to actually look at things that people are doing. And that requires a lot. It's expensive to run elections, to run organizations. It's expensive, and we need people to be more able to spend that money. My mayor, when he was running and he got elected, he said time, talent, and treasure. Your volunteerism, what you are good at, your talents, your skills, your job, what can you do? And then your treasure, your ability to donate, your ability to get the resources out there. Like, those are the things that every election, every candidate needs: time, talent, and treasure. And if you're not willing to give at least one of those, what are you doing? What are you doing for these people that are running for these places?
In the chat, we've got Simon saying focus on what unites rather than divides us. Lee is saying everyone needs to be united, no time to split. We know what's right and wrong, well our sides, and we all achieve the same goal. Like one of the things that the right wing are very good at, even if they are deeply divided ideologically, they always seem to group together like the T-1000 at a Terminator when it comes time to make when it comes down to the crunch.
Terminator gloop.
Yeah, Terminator gloop. Groups back together.
They're really good at focusing on one thing and then running with it.
Yeah.
They can focus on one thing and they can run their mouths about it, and they can cause a lot of problems, especially with something like immigration.
Yeah.
Like build the wall was the first thing.
Yeah, but if you've got
then the next thing is the deportation, the rapists and the murderers and the criminals, and then they could turn anything, absolutely anything, into an immigration problem. The fentanyl epidemic. Oh, that's an immigration problem.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, it's an American company.
It's us. Like these things are like they can take any problem and turn it into their subject.
But to us on the other side of the pond, the Democrats appear like the conservatives and the Republicans appear like the refuck party. Like they're both right wing to us, right of center seemingly. But obviously in the US, you've got 77.3 million people who just voted for an adjudicated rapist to be the leader of the free world, essentially. Thanks for voting that on our behalf. So I can't imagine having a more progressive Democratic Party would do anything other than split the 50% that would vote for the Democrats, so they'll never win again. That's my concern about having an extra startup party.
Your math ain't mathing though.
Okay, explain.
Because he got like 33% of the voting age. So then you're saying like the Democrats have like the 50%. They didn't have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like that's
the people who voted. It was about 50%, wasn't it?
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the people who can vote. A lot of people stayed home.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
people
votes.
Don't give a fuck about politics. Why? Well, are you going to force them to vote?
No, a lot of people who voted in 2020 did not vote in 2024.
How much out of the numbers?
I think it was almost 20. No, it was 32% in Michigan, like 39% in Arizona. And these are Democrats. Like there is, I hear what Brenna's saying. I hear what Grandma's saying. There's a third thing that isn't being addressed. And if we don't address it again, the same thing's going to happen again. Like we are at the backstop. Like we have to address all of our problems and fix all of them before we start. You know what I mean? Like we need a solid foundation to build from. But if we want to build and then like leave people out of it and like have a square with like a chair with a missing leg, like it might work for a little bit and you'll probably can lean on it a little bit and it'll be okay if you use your leg, but eventually that chair is going to give out. And that's what happened to us. Our chair is shattered now. And we got to fix it. But we got to fix it with everybody included.
I mean, I'm looking at the figures here. It's not much different. The number of people who voted isn't much different from 2020 as it was.
I'll grab it for you.
2024. That was about 155 million. Mikey's going to grab it.
Yeah, I'll get
He's got it. He knows.
I just read it the other day. I just gotta.
He got the numbers.
So, I mean, it's 152 million voted for one of the big parties in this last election. And then before then, it's 74 for Trump plus 81 for Biden. By then, oh shit, I should have used that gag. So the figures I'm getting for this is it's 155 million people voted in 2020 and 152 million voted in 2024. I mean, that's only 3 million. It's not enough for a party, for like, if you're going to look at like how many people stayed at home. And I say this to people who in the UK who said you should make voting compulsory, and I'm like, you can't force people to vote because they're not going to necessarily. Well, you shouldn't. You can. You do it in Australia, but they don't necessarily vote the right way because they don't give a shit about politics. So by and large, they just vote for the name they recognise or the first name.
And that's because a lot of people believe that like the government runs without their consent, basically, without them understanding what's going on. And I think that's a problem with the way that governments are communicating. It's a problem with the way that they're run. Like I have a city, right? I'm in a city and I don't know what's happening unless I go to a city council meeting and sit there and listen for 5 hours about what's been happening, or go on their little Zoom thing and listen to what they have to say. I'm not getting any information. Like, I don't know that's what's happening half the time because they don't give out the information freely. And that problem with, I think, most of the governments, especially state and local governments, we don't know what's happening all the time because nobody tells us, and nobody's telling us, hey, these people want this and these people don't. Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that I have a problem with my city council. And I love my city council. I give them, donate. I talk to them. I do all this stuff, and still I don't know what's happening unless I actively and that's me.
Yeah,
I'm on with Mikey. I have to at least have behind me, but normal people, they don't understand the role of government in their daily lives, and it's right. Something about, like, it's not just government, but it's unions, it's other organizations that are giving them this.
Do they have to? I know it sounds like a daft question, but do they have to? Like,
well,
why is it important for them to understand it if they're not that asked about it and they're just getting on with their lives? Because
then they vote for Trump.
Yeah.
They vote against their own interests because they don't understand that the people that are actually doing the work that they care about are on their side. Yeah, and if they think that a big, strong man, my ass, somebody who talks tough is the one that's going to save them, they don't understand what's going on. They believe that egg prices are gonna go down because somebody waves a magic wand.
I don't
know, because they don't understand what's actually happening with gas prices, with labor prices, with bird flu, with health, with people. Like, they don't know what's actually happening.
I don't blame them for not knowing. I don't think it's their fault. It's like, I don't know stuff about American football. I'm not interested in it.
I'm saying, this is what I'm saying.
I know.
I'm saying it's not. I'm not
Travis
saying
Kelce,
it's their
his name
fault.
is, because he's going out with Taylor Swift. Like, that's all I know. And so if his name came up on the ballot, I'll go, oh yeah, I recognize that. So what I think the problem is, it's not. I mean, you can blame people if you like. That's fine.
I'm not.
People are idiots, but I think it's more down to communication. Like,
I'm telling you that
your messages aren't getting through.
I'm actually literally saying the problem with our government is that they're not talking about what they do.
Yeah.
And unless you're me and you have to look at certain things, you're not going to get well educated on what's going to happen. I know that. I'm telling you that. Yeah. I'm not blaming the people that are voting for Trump because
I am a bit, though, by the way.
They think well, but I'm also blaming the government for not doing their due diligence about communication.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I think that's the problem, because you have to force people to be educated in this country. People are not going to educate themselves. You
just have to give them the information. I don't know if you have to sort of march them off to a school and say, sit down and pay attention, you dickheads, which would be fun. But
actually, that's what I wish school was like.
I don't think we can actually do that, though. But yeah, I think that is down. Labour in this country got exactly the same problem as the Democrats in the States. Their communications are fucking shite.
And we've had this.
They're still fighting elections like it's 1974. It's not 1974 anymore. You know, things have moved on. So many things have moved on. Technology's changed. The way we communicate has changed. The way we do things in our everyday lives has massively changed in the last 50 years, and they don't seem to have progressed. The right wing have. The right wing are all over it. Trump was on fucking TikTok. Nigel Farage over here is on TikTok. He's got like 1 million people following him.
And people look at his face.
I don't know. Ugh. God,
just,
ugh.
Don't do it.
If I ever had to go for a test, you know, like.
But I'm agreeing with you when it comes to like using what we have available to us to get information out. Emails. People do read their emails, but there's got to be the use of TikTok now that it's not banned. It was banned for what, 14 hours, Mikey?
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah. I got a screenshot of it while it was down.
Oh, nice.
I thought it would be cool.
Posterity.
We've got a couple of super chats to run through. We've got Chris C, £2 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Turkeys voting for Christmas springs to mind. Absolutely, Chris. And then we've got Tim Ballum, £10 super chat there. This is a must watch to understand how people are targeted. Chris Sumner, rage against the weaponized AI propaganda machine based on Brexit, but still too important to ignore. So we'll have to check that out. And Green Thumb points out, if stupidity was painful, like touching a hot stove, this would have been self-correcting already. In a dangerous, stupid world, be the stove. And this is what a lot of people are saying. Like, people who are big, mad, MAGA, Republican, Trumpers, you can't reason with them. You can't use logic. You can't point things out. They will be dying of an easily preventable disease on a park bench, homeless, with a newspaper over them to keep warm, and they'll still think that Trump is the greatest thing ever. You're never going to get through them on the level of logic, but on an emotional level. And this is something that I wish that the Democrats had really run with, that idea that there are families that have been split by Trump for 8 years now. We should do this in the UK over Brexit. You know, why did your kids move to Australia? Why do you never see them anymore? Maybe it's because you voted for Brexit.
You're in the find out period.
Yeah.
Well, I think
it has to be a bit painful.
That was the criticism after he got elected the first time, about the mainstream media went out and started talking to his voters and like, why did you vote for him? As if they like were the devastated ones. Like they're the ones that like, who cares what they got what they wanted.
Yeah.
To talk about things like those kind of questions about like, why won't your daughter talk to you anymore? Like, I don't care about what they like. Their daughter needs to be the one that talks and says, look, you voted against my rights. You were wanting to take my rights away. You don't trust me. You don't, it's these things that why do LGBTQ kids become more homeless? They're the highest rate of homelessness among teenagers. Why is that? Well, their parents kick them out.
Right.
Because they're because their neighbors think that they're sinners. They should be God hates them. Like, these are the things that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
They rather talk about like why what Trump is going to do for them. Oh, well, they're going to lower my taxes. He's not going to lower your taxes. He's going to we already know that.
Yeah.
We have proof that he's not going to make anything better for you. He's going to make everything worse. But because they blame the Democrats, or they blame DEI hires, or they blame the trans community for all these things, it's because they don't have real responses, because nobody tells them. But nobody shows them the truth.
They don't know what they're doing.
Isn't it interesting how quickly they apportioned blame for the wildfires in California while those wildfires were still blazing, and yet when a school shooting occurs, this is no time for politics. Thoughts and prayers. This is no time for politics. You're politicizing this tragedy. Why are you politicizing this tragedy?
We had 4 fires at the same time, and they were literally blaming Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, not of the county, not of Southern California, one city, and then the fire chief of LA County, one county that was affected.
Yeah.
And they didn't blame the white guys, the old white guys, right? Yeah. Why would they do that?
That's why would you even bring that up?
Right. You can't blame the white guys for making poor decisions about. And by the way, fires are natural disasters.
Nah, man, they did it with the gay water.
The gay water.
The gay water burns.
Gay water burns. Yeah. If we can talk about the fires for a little bit, just because it is really it's still affecting me. Our fire, so we have 2 fires raging still. The Palisades fire, which is the one near Malibu, that one's only at 59% contained. It's not even like stopped. It's
Can you smell contained. It where you are? Does it smell of smoke when you go out?
So I can't smell it now. We did smell it for a little bit, especially when all those fires were raging at the same time and went like peak. Our air quality is still really bad. Like we are having trouble breathing still. We're getting sick. Allergy, all this stuff is happening. Partially because of the fires, partially because of the Santa Ana winds, which is one of the root causes of, or how fires begin basically here is a lot of that, the Santa Ana winds. Where
we can Santa Ana. Just sue them. Hey, yo, get your win, dog.
Sue the Democrats in Santa Ana. The DEI hires.
Get your win, homie.
The trans people in there, because that's apparently what, right? The trans win. But what we do, like one of the things that like you think these are beautiful sunsets that happen. It's the pinks and the yellows and all that stuff. That's ash. That's what you're breathing.
Particulate.
Yes. We have a lot of resources going to them. We have, fire. I started to cry really, really horribly at this video of there were firefighters going to Canada, stopping in Canada to come to California from South Africa. They were like the Black South African fire department that was coming in. We got Canada, Mexico came in. We had places from different states, people from different states. We had people from different states to come down to serve food to the first responders and to help with getting resources to the people who were displaced by the fires. A friend of mine's house burned down, and like you started a GoFundMe. There's lots of GoFundMes out there. So people who are looking for something to help, like there's GoFundMes that are specifically from the fires. Look for ones that have not really been funded well, please. They're, we getting donations, lots of donations of food, water, clothing. But it really is going to affect us. Because it's LA. It's where Hollywood is. All those productions that you know and love, they're stopping. The people who were out in Atlanta filming Marvel stuff, do you really think that they're going to continue doing that until all the fires are burned out? They're going to rebuild their homes. People lost their homes. People lost their pets. There's schools that burned down. There's libraries that burned down. Where are they going to go? They're going to come to us. They're going to go to the rest of the LA County. This is devastating. This is going to be years to rebuild. And of course, right when we need people to rebuild, well, we're going to have ICE raids. We're going to have our border closed. We're going to have, it's going to be devastating. Like, this is a natural disaster. This is our hurricane. This is our flood.
Right. It was a fire hurricane as opposed to a water hurricane.
Well, it was
but because it's in somewhere that's mostly Democratic.
Yeah.
Oh, screw them. But how many times have we rebuilt Louisiana from scratch? Arkansas from scratch, the whole Delta region from scratch, Florida. We already know Florida's all plastic for a reason, because we're going to have to fish it out of the ocean later, and it floats easier if you just make everything that floats.
Right.
Put the house back together.
Yeah.
I was going to say, didn't you have like hurricane, like force winds? The Santa Ana winds were just insane. That's what I heard.
Yeah, and they're coming back. Actually, if they're right now. Because I'm in my garage. Garage.
Don't
and
you conform? Don't
the
let them beat you.
the winds shake the doors. And we're getting them back to the point where our phones keep saying this is fire weather warning, which means we're not done with this.
Yeah.
Which means do you think any one of these 59% contained fires could get worse.
Sorry, Mikey, go
on. Do you think that you guys are gonna, like, going forward, that they're gonna put in some of the same, like, almost like Arizona, where it's like the what do they call it? like the gravel yards and stuff like that? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, do you think that they're gonna start doing that? Because
I think
if things burn like that, they might ban vegetation.
So if we're specifically talking about like these two fires that are still going on, there's actually not a lot a lot of that land is not is where people don't live. So a lot of that is the sides of like cliffs like this, right?
Okay.
And if you see, like, you can't really control all that. Plus, you need that. Because what happens
it's
when
erosion
it rains,
control,
and it goes down. So this very much is where something like the Palisades fire started, something like this, and it just because of the dry weather, because we are in a desert, so we do have drought level hazard, that it's really hard to control something like this. Now, in personal yards or in public places, they might be able to control that a little bit with things like gravel, with drought resistant things. I don't know if they can. I think they're going to be a little bit more diligent about things like fire retardant, like coatings on things. It's hard to do that kind of stuff. Like, we have earthquake standards now for buildings, right? Because we're in California. And I've talked about this before. We have to have earthquake standards. Will there be fireproofing standards? I don't know how much you can do that. Do we have to make everything out of brick? Don't know if we can do that. Things like concrete and stuff, that's really bad for the environment.
It's very water intensive process using concrete.
It's really bad for the environment. We also have to import a lot of things, which of course is fossil fuels. So will we do things like concrete? Probably not as much as we should. Like, should we do concrete more? Should we do fire resist more? Yes. Will we be doing it because we do have environmental standards here? It's not going to happen.
I saw a tweet of someone who was in the fires, who's freaking out, saying, we will pay anything. I want a private. Is there a private fire brigade? Fire service. What do you call it? Firefighters union. Whatever.
Fire brigade service.
Is there a private fire service?
I've never seen anybody ever.
I've never
seen anybody actually afford one. So
well,
I've never heard of that. Like, I've never actually heard of like private fire.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Department or anything like that. You could probably, but because the way that we distribute water, you can't tap into the water system without authorization.
Yeah, and that's
Which
one of the
means-
big problems, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
the water's all being taken to grow fucking apricots or something. Just 1 second, because Tim Ballon has dropped a super chat in. Thank you very much, Tim, for that. US billionaire Elon Musk appeared to make a Heil Hitler salute at the Washington, D.C. Trump parade on Monday following Trump's inauguration.
Because he's a Nazi.
Shocked face.
I did not see that coming. But yeah, going back to this guy saying, like, can someone... He actually deleted this tweet soon afterwards because just there was a barrage of people going, what the fuck are you on about? You know, private fire service going to come and help you. But also people going, pay your taxes. How about you pay your taxes? And then the services won't be cut. The water won't be redirected to grow raisins or... What is it? There's something...
We actually... Okay, time out.
We did. They had plenty of water.
We actually... We have very specific reservoirs for... fire. We don't use our reservoirs unless we have to refill the reservoirs that we use for fire. Our reservoirs were over capacity. We had enough.
Yeah,
it had absolutely nothing to do with our
down fast enough, wasn't it?
The thing is that when you have, 20 people trying to stop fires with the fire hoses, the pressure goes down.
Drops. Yeah.
The pressure was the problem. The electricity that was used for the pumps for the Eaton fire, the Pasadena fire, that electrical grid was shut down because there's fires.
Right.
So they had to get the grid on to outside
They had to get power to the pump plant.
Emergency in order to get them pumping. So these are the type of things. So misinformation came out immediately, and it's not just about
some of it,
not just about Karen Bass, not just about DEI hires, but also about the water system. The fish. That's federal, by the way. That has nothing to do with California, and it absolutely did not affect the water. No. Like I said, we had plenty of water. We just had lots of fire.
Brenna, did you see the footage of Elon Musk being put right by a firefighter? Did you see that clip?
I did not.
Because
I got it for you somewhere. Hold on.
Okay,
he's gonna find it. So
I know that he talked to a firefighter. I just can't understand him because he burbles his words.
Yes, like a baby.
But I know that he talked to a firefighter, and the fighter was like, "Yeah, none of this is true."
He's a baby.
But like we saw all these videos and stuff. First off, the Hollywood sign did not burn. Everybody, not burn. That's fake. Like this,
it's a CGI sign.
This stuff that they put out, all this fake information. This is very harmful to people. Like this is a natural disaster, and like North Carolina came in and said, "Where's our money that Biden promised?" Like, well, you have to call, and do the work, but you'll get it. But you have to call, and they didn't call because they were told not to call by certain people who will remain nameless.
Or like when the FEMA people were getting harassed and people were spreading bullshit online after the hurricane, and the people were just knocking on their door like, "Hey, do you guys need anything?" And then they're being met with threats and weapons and all this stuff. So it's like, okay, hey, by the way, guys, don't go to house 123 Fake Street, because they're threatening people over there. So maybe skip that house.
Well, they used to have private fire brigades, didn't they, in New York and London?
Suddenly and miraculously, that information gets spread all over the internet, and now all the Republicans are saying that the Democrats are avoiding MAGA houses. They're letting that out. Like that's how that happens, and it happened in like 12 hours that they flipped this story.
Spread faster than the fire. Just a quick super chat here from Darren. Check out the Jonathan Pye sketch for today. I will do. The end of America. Are you ready to go, Mikey, or do you need a bit more time to find the clip?
I put it in the private chat.
Oh, okay.
Private chat.
And I put that the Drop Site News article about the
Oh yeah, can you send it to me, because I'm streaming the Zoom. So if I open the chat, everyone will be able to see the chat, and it'll push everyone off the screen a little bit. So could you put it onto the WhatsApp group, or just to me on WhatsApp. Thank you. Yeah, I'll get it sorted, Squire. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Your little head about a thing. Put it away about a thing as stuff of used £5
Is Wayne in
into your
here?
top pocket. Cool, blimey, governor. But yeah, so I was gonna explain what's in this.
Oy vey.
Oi.
I was gonna explain what's in this video, but if Mikey can get me the link, I'll show it to you. But yeah,
Boom, boom.
just it really did show how Elon Musk he's just a fucking idiot. And I think the first inkling that a lot of us got that he was a fucking idiot was when those kids in Thailand were stuck in the cave, and he was like, "I'll build you a submarine," and it was like, "No, the kids are in the." What are you talking about? The submarine, the size of the hole that they need to get through is like this big, right? They need to get a person through the hole with oxygen because the tanks are quite big on your back. So you got to have someone who's a real expert at this particular type of cave diving. There's different types of cave diving. And they did. The guy got to the kids, rescued all the children, and for his reward, Elon Musk on his own platform. Now it's his own platform, but at the time it was just Twitter. Called him a paedophile. Called him the guy who saved the lives of all these Thai children. Called him a paedophile, and got away
that
with
kind
it.
of stuff should, bring down somebody's, social status, right?
Yeah, he cheats at video game. He cheats at video games. He's lost all of the little incel nerds. They hate his ass now.
Well, he's gonna get hated pretty damn quickly with this department he's running. It's not gonna work out the way that he wants. But this kind of stuff, people should lose their social status.
Yes.
We talk about celebrities who he never had a social status anyway. Nobody knew who he was until he started opening his mouth.
I'm just gonna
whatever that sound was started.
I'm just gonna nip over to
and I was gonna say, and then something weird came out, but
we're getting a bumper show today. We've gone 38 minutes over time, but that's fine.
Okay. There's two of us.
We're gonna show the Elon Musk clip now to everyone who's watching, and I'll do this so I can share it with you guys
USA.
as well.
USA.
Can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see Musk?
No.
You can't see him. Oh, hang on. It won't help if I press the right button. There you go. There you go. Right.
I see
What
him.
about water availability? Was water availability?
There was water. We have several reservoirs that we use a lot.
God, he's a nightmare.
Hey, stop drinking all the water, motherfucker. There's fire. Don't you hear? Put that bitch on a brush.
Sorry.
Forgot. This isn't our show.
Are you sure you want to
Sorry.
Oh my god, he thinks he's so cool, doesn't he?
So embarrassed. Can't you human? Like, for a second?
No.
Like,
Are they going to show the clip? They're not showing the clip. They're just telling us what happens.
Yeah, what happened?
They mustn't have the copyright.
We got clickbaited. Let me see if I can find it.
no.
Oh, man.
No.
We got
baited.
noticed that in Malibu along the coast, there was no shortage of water. In the Palisades, there was a shortage of water at a certain point. Or is that not accurate?
Well, we were flowing just an amount of water that the system couldn't overbear. It was buried just because of how much water these firefighters were utilizing.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Nothing?
All right. Thanks, guys.
Nothing?
I
were-
was wrong. I was wrong. You can cut it there, Graham.
Yeah.
We'll have to play other stuff.
That is
That's
exactly.
my governor. My governor.
But that's exactly what.
Really good
What,
looking. Horrible.
T1000.
Yeah. But that's exactly what Brenna was saying there about Hang on, I need to stop share. Make us appear again. Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
We disappeared for a moment there. I forgot to press stop share on the screen. Yeah, so he turned up and he said, "Look, we need 1,000 gallons of water to put out one house fire, and there were thousands of houses on fire. So what do you think's going to happen?" But it just shows that. Do you remember when the dickhead, the millionaires went down in the submarine and got crushed? Right? He said he was going to help with them. He said he was going to help find them. Hey, he's just, those really annoying people who are like, they think they can do anything. You must have met these people. They think that they are the bee's bollocks, and you give them some, you're in the middle of something. They go, "No, I know what to do. I know what to do." And then you go, "Okay," because they sound authoritative. They sound like they know what they're saying, and then they fuck it up. They fuck it. That's what he is. That's what he is. And his rockets keep blowing up.
Or the people that are like, "Yeah, I'll help out," and then back out. Like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's too cold outside."
Me, let me do it. Come on, let me do
Hey,
it.
Hyperloop, I could do that in 6 months. Watch me work. Quick, run.
Yeah.
Monorail.
It's all a grift, just like the monorail.
Just like the monorail.
You took it out of the words right out of my mouth, Graham.
Yeah,
Hey guys, the real story of America is the grift we made along the way.
Yeah.
It's the grift that brings us together.
Yeah.
Serendipity Journey says, "Yeah, I loved him anyway, but he's totally lost the respect of the gaming community. I mean, seriously, paying people to play for him rather than doing the grind like most of us, it's seriously lame." And do you know, Grimes
and to be like the
put
number
out a
4
tweet.
number 4 person on the planet.
Yeah,
like that's
and
a level
then realize
of
that it's fake.
But Grimes put out a tweet
there.
Grimes put out a tweet saying, "No, I've seen him and he's amazing, and he's got this magic cloak in this video game that you can only get if you're the king of the world." And it was just, and someone retweeted it saying, like, he's obviously said, like, put a tweet out and I'll give you 50 million, and I won't explode the chip in the child's neck.
Right.
It's like, okay then, okay, Elon.
I was figured to be like the magnetic disc thing from Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Cool.
What one angry pagan says, would have been great if the Libs had done a better job at heading off a second Trump presidency. Half measures is what you got. Yeah, it was just a half-assed attempt. They made a lot of money out of it. Fuck me, they raised over $1 billion, didn't they?
Good for them.
What did they? Fella, what's
it's not worth anything.
Is it leaflets? Is it bunting? Like what's so expensive? Is it TV ads? Is that what they spend it all on?
Yeah,
and concerts.
TV. Yep.
Wouldn't it make more sense to just have some small podcasts that then go really viral and everyone listens to, like the fucking Rogan
Hey Graham,
fella?
how much did it cost you to start a YouTube channel?
Nothing. Zero.
Oh, well, it's almost like they could have just put it on their own channels.
Genuinely zero.
20 grand to make a little studio somewhere.
Yeah.
And like an office in DC, and just did their own shit and talked directly to the people.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, someone could have even been their producer.
I was trying to think of what
opportunity is.
I was trying to think of what in my equipment that I use to make these shows I actually bought for myself, and the only thing I've got is my little GoPro that I use for doing overhead shots when I'm making Lego. And actually, you could argue that it was bought for myself, but you could also argue that I bought this out the prize money when I won the island, because it was the island and a bit of spending money, and I bought that out. That's not proper income, is it? I didn't really work for it like you meant to. Yeah, everything else gifted.
Just off the fat of the land, eh, Graham?
Well, I mean,
true story.
Get like
I bought this.
I bought shit like that, which is just not fair.
Like, and if we are going back to politics for a second, I hope they understand now that talking to podcasters is better than talking to the news. Yes. No one watches the news anymore. And if they do watch the news, it's in clip form because we gave it to them.
Yep.
And I was going to say, like with this city council thing, Brenna knows I have watched way more city council meetings for cities that are not even my own than probably any adult should. Yeah. But that's where if you're a, freelance journalist, like we kind of call ourselves, that's where the juice is. That's where the good stories are, is finding these little small stories and making them larger. If you want to find new content, then that's where you should go. You should find local issues and blow them up, help people like get attention and eyes on things that are probably maybe not something like huge, like changing what side of the road to drive on, but maybe something that's just needs that little bit of a little bump, and then that makes a big difference for people in that community.
And
That's what we
something
can do.
that I did this last election cycle because I was working with my local city council member and my mayor. You get to meet other people from other cities. Like I was able to actually talk to people from Huntington Beach and realize that it's worse than I thought. And places that these places that have a different perspective, because I am in my own little bubble. I admit it. I am in my own bubble. I have to learn what's going on in other cities because we're all connected. And my city is not the only city. I have other cities. We have a county. We have a state. We have to know what's going on because it could happen to us at any time.
And the shenanigans are afoot.
And somebody sees something that's going on in one place, like Huntington Beach, and saying, oh, wow, look, they have so much power. I want this to be over here. And then they go over to this city and they go, let's do that. And so now that's how the virus spreads.
Yeah.
We're going to have another pandemic.
It's true.
The democracy zombie virus spreads.
We need the good virus, not the bad virus.
Unzombification.
The sexy virus.
Yeah. Sexy zombies.
Oh no,
sexy vampires. You don't get sexy zombies. If you want sexy dead people, it's got to be vampires every time. Ernie Burns, Musk said he'll sort.
Something new.
Musk said he'll sort out poverty if someone could come up with a plan. UNESCO did it for $8 billion, and Musk just kind of forgot about it. Which is true. Andy F is wondering what the Trump concentration camps are going to be called. Holiday camps, probably. They'll be the best concentration camps in the world. Absolutely amazing.
Trump.
People say
it's going to have his name across it. Yeah. It's going to be in gold lettering.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. They haven't paid for any of that yet.
No.
And then so they have to get allocations for the land. And in Arizona and Texas, people are already on the ground ready to protest that shit. So they're not going to let them have the land. So then they're going to have to take the legal process and try to or they're going to have to put them on military bases. But here's the thing. If these are people who you don't really exactly trust, do you want, I don't know, 20,000 of them on your military base?
Yeah.
Where they can just kind of wander about sometimes? Because, or do you want to now all of your focus has to be watching these? There are problems with what he says in reality.
And I want to just make sure that you guys understand that the most military personnel live where?
Texas.
Nope.
California.
We have the most military personnel. We have the most land we have Navy, Army, of course, Marines, air bases, and we have Coast Guard. So all these branches of the military, and they live in California. They don't live, most people don't live on the bases. They live in the state, which means if you're going to be putting people in the military bases, you're dealing with Californians. And Californians don't do that shit.
Are you sure? Are you sure they don't do that shit?
I wouldn't.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed on that one. Shit. We're all just laughing at Elon Musk in the chat.
Good. We should laugh at him.
750 Journey talking about video games we play for fun. It seems he just wants the accolade of being the best. Like my dad's bigger than you.
He just wants to be so cool, and he can't do it.
If you watch the footage of him playing it, he's like clicking on stuff that's grayed out. It's just embarrassing. And
he spams the same button, and he doesn't have any magic power, any mana left. He's just spamming the same move, and he doesn't have mana. It's like,
you have played this before, haven't you? And also, I mean,
doesn't know what he's doing.
It's like most video games now are just 90% grind, aren't they? I mean, because they want you to play loads of the video game. And
16 minutes of story and then grind for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And I think someone said that he would have to spend like 1,000 hours playing this video game for him to get to the point where he is, and he just hasn't got the time. He's too busy.
Oh, more than
tweeting
that.
shit. Sorry, 1,000.
No, we're
10,000. Maybe was it? It was a long
because
bloody time.
it's like 23 hours a day.
Right.
That account because you can see when the account is on.
Oh, okay.
23 hours a day. Like he's out giving a speech and the fucking account is not streaming, but is playing, actively playing whilst he's talking on camera. So, dude, you're busted. You're a cheater. You're a booster. Even worse than a cheater,
doesn't lower his social score.
It does. He's a booster. No one trusts him.
No one. He's lost the respect of the gaming community massively.
Like if people bought views, if people were buying views for their YouTube channel, you're just a booster. Who cares? It's all worthless. We should
making it rain. Apparently,
it's been great having Brenna back. We've not spoken since after the election, actually.
Yeah.
My commiserations, obviously. But yeah, before we sign off, to go back to what we were talking about near the beginning of the show, like what's the silver lining? What are the sort of things that we should be looking forward to? Is a new bright young thing in the Democrats going to emerge, and then everyone will get behind them? Is that the sort of thing that's going to happen, or do you think that there's going to be a lot of navel gazing and just general sullenness from the Democrats for the next few months?
Navel gaze.
What do you think is going to happen, Brenna?
I don't think the Democrats are going to be doing very much. I think, unless they get a kick in the ass and say you need to do shit, they're not going to. So there's going to be a lot more focus on local. I think we all have to, as voters, we have to focus on our local. We need to keep that, because. And you know what? Get off the clickbait, please. Like, stop giving these people any credence.
What do you mean by the clickbait? The right-wing clickbait or the left-wing clickbait?
The right-wing clickbait. When people, when they have those headlines that are like obviously provocative, like, don't give them anything, because these people are going to run on money. And if you don't give them the money, if you don't allow them to do that, like it breaks them a little bit, and it breaks them down. And be local.
Yeah.
Be a part of your community. I know that's hard. I know it's especially for people like me who don't like human contact.
Don't like people.
They're over there, I'm over here.
This planet would be great if it wasn't for all the goddamn people.
We have people around here. We have to get out there, and we have to use our time, our talent, our treasure, like I said before, to work on our community. And even if you're not into the political side of things, do the people who are doing what you want to do. Like, if you're environmentalist, go actually join an environmentalist group. If you're for animal welfare, do that. If you're for unhoused and you want to build that up, you want people out of the streets and into housing, do that. Those things are actually they're political, but they're for a cause. Like, be more into your community. And I think that's what the silver lining is. Go locally.
Okay, Mikey.
Like, there are people out there. Sorry.
Mikey, what do you think? Silver linings. What people should be doing right now or not doing?
I agree with not the clickbait thing, but I would say to piggyback on it, do not accept the right wing framing of every issue.
Yeah.
Like, if they want to bring up trans something, cool. I want names and facts, please.
Yeah.
I need examples, facts, instances, all the data you got. If you and if it's just going to be your feelings, bro, then you can keep your feelings, bro. Because if you're triggered by somebody existing, then that's not really my problem. And it's catty time. It's cat season.
That sounds like you want to use their own language against them.
they need to prove to me that I should care about this because it's such a big issue. How many people are we talking about here? We're talking about 17 teams out of 20. Like, what are we talking about? If you don't have it, then this is just your feelings and you're having an emotional meltdown and I'm supposed to care about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like it goes
Mikey,
both
is it
ways.
okay to laugh? Is it okay to laugh at those people when they don't provide you with the information that you asked for and just go, oh, how cute. Thank you for your thoughts.
Just give them a little pat on the head and like, oh, you tried
you.
politics, didn't you?
Oh, that was so cute. I love the words that you use.
Look at you.
You're so eloquent.
Come on. I can hear you Googling on the phone right now.
All you use words.
Because they're not built for this. You know what I mean? They're not built to play defense at all because they've always been the underdog because they're just, children with crayon markings around their lips and we just have largely ignored them.
Yeah.
And now that now you got the remote control now, buddy. Turn it on. Come on, you want to watch
flag waving?
Come on, you're the big boy. Come on, let's see you do it. And this is the point. I want them to be the idiot at the front of the class who thinks who can teach the lesson. He picks up the chalk. He's got the attitude. Okay, let's go. Come on, let's see what you got. Because we know what actually works, and we will be offering an alternative, even if the Republicans try to steal it. We'll be offering an alternative to your broken-ass plan, which doesn't obviously work. But you would know that if you knew politics. Take your spanking whilst you do your victory lap. Take your spanking and learn how to run a proper government, which is what some parties know how to do and others do not. They don't know how to rule. They just know how to burn down. So none of this is going to work in their favor. So that just means that when it fails for other people, that's when we say, see, told you, come on, this is where you're supposed to be in the first place. And we're not as toxic as these weirdos over here who over here Bitcoining and, rug pulling the American people at every opportunity that they get. I hope it'd be really bad if China or I don't know, North Korea bought a whole bunch of those coins and then just had like an influence over the president's finances. Wouldn't that be weird? Remember when presidents used to divest and put everything into a blind trust before they took office just so that there would be no...
Jimmy Carter had to give up his peanut farm.
Yeah.
And then they hated him after his first...
Trump coins.
He just launched another coin.
Yeah.
So
made a few billion.
So when I get to have those fun conversations with MAGA people, I'm like, so you're cool with him like dropping a coin like as the president?
Yeah, of course they are. They don't give a shit.
How much money should a president be making at this point?
So you think it's cool for him to like pump and dump stocks and cryptos as the president? Has that happened before?
Yeah, they're cool with it. They're cool with it because they're fucking idiots.
But Mikey,
but now
Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yeah.
Right.
And Hillary's emails. And Benghazi.
I'm like, so what else for you? What else for you is for sale?
Right.
So
your brain is.
Most of the people watching this are in Britain. What can Brits do? I would suggest two things, and you can tell me whether these are terrible ideas. One is to quietly quit America, i.e. don't buy your coffee from Starbucks, go and buy it from a local coffee shop instead. But also while doing that, support creatives over in America and left-wing voices that are trying to get their stuff out. If even if you can't afford to slip them any money, what you can do is make sure you share their stuff and share it amongst your friends and say, hey, there's someone speaking real good sense. Because the more eyeballs that people get on their shows in America, on TikTok or YouTube, the more money they'll get and the more videos they'll be able to make speaking truth to power, which is something that we desperately need now.
And Graham, you know this, being a YouTuber yourself, it's not so much that like your message is like bad and like that's why like your channel's not doing so good. It's you got to get your fish and your fish in your little pond, and you just got to get to other little ponds, and then like somebody randomly sharing it in a group does wonders, because like you see it in like your algorithm or in your analytics and stuff. You're like, somebody must have shared this because there's like 45 unique viewers. And like, this was like, it was like, oh, okay. So somebody actually put it out there in front of new people and new eyes. And then it's not, you know, one for one that every single one of those people are going to subscribe.
No, but it
gets
helps,
you into a different group. You know, it kind of starts to connect that web, like amongst creators and stuff like that. So like most of the people that you guys see and on all of the big channels, we're kind of all loosely connected in one way or another. Yeah. Like me and Graham probably have 3 or 4 other friends that are, you know what I mean? It's like a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely.
So, any way we can strengthen that web, the better.
One thing about like the TikTok kind of stuff is that you need to be in control of your own algorithm. Do not let the algorithm take control of you. And that's how people are radicalized. And that's how they're going to be using it. If Trump has his way, and first off, he created the TikTok ban, just letting everybody know. If TikTok stays, if the TikTok stays, like you need to break the algorithm. You can block certain hashtags. So block the hashtags that are bad things. But also like go search for things that you care about.
How mad would he be if he was just blocked? Everybody blocked him.
That's what I'm saying. Just block the hashtags that are like Trump and MAGA and stuff like that. Control your own algorithm, because they're going to be bringing the voices that you were talking about, Graham, is that the people that need the boosting, if you start searching for them and you comment, even if it's just a heart, like comment on it. If you share it, like those will boost things.
Yeah.
And and it's better for your algorithm too, because those kind of things are going to start showing up on your For You page. And then it's going to show up for other people's For You page. And it's going to continue doing that. So that's what we need to do with our time right now with TikTok, is to do that. Break their algorithm, create your own.
Yeah. Absolutely. One Angry Pagan, yes, we need to sort that out, don't we, doing the live stream, Reagan Lee's. We will do that at some point. Right, have you seen my American eulogy? Because I was just going to finish with that, since it's the day, isn't it? So we're going to sign off now. I'm going to show you, if you haven't already seen it, the American eulogy that I made a eulogy. But I just want to say a huge thank you to Brenna and Mikey for coming on the show tonight and giving us their wisdom of what it's like over the pond, over on the other side. And I just, I hope things. Sorry, the frozen side, the dark side.
Stay away.
But yeah, I look. I know it's going to be tough for the next few months at least. Hang in there, and I hope that something good ends up coming from all of this horror. I'm sure it will, because it will energize the left. I'm sure of it. Wake people out of their reverie and make them want to change the system that they're in, rather than just acquiesce to let other people change it for them in negative ways. So fingers crossed for that. So Brenna, Mikey, thank you very much. Thank you very much to everyone for watching. Thank you very much for the entertaining chat, the socialites in the chat there, the socialists in the chat, and the chat of pure socialism, politics socialism. Thanks for the super chats. Give us a like on the way out. Yeah. And until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Well, so long, America. You've had a good innings. What is it, 248 years?
Nailed it.
As good as any, I suppose. But now your race is run.
You almost made it.
The empires of old, you've made yourself impervious to outside attack, too big to fail, right? So instead, your enemies, Russia, Saudi, North Korea, they sought to corrupt you from within. And like a sack in a horror film, you've invited the vampires in. You created the social media platforms for them to exploit, giving them free rein to unleash devastating mind worms on your population. You've allowed foreigners who hate you, Murdoch, Musk and Thiel, to feast on your self-esteem, your sense of justice, your love of democracy, and feast they did. Now that rot, that festering necrosis has spread across your entire body politics. The cancer is inoperable. Economically, socially, politically, you will never recover. Some are saying it'll only be for 4 years. Oh, you sweet summer children. I wish I could share your blissful naivety. but I've seen too much. I've traveled too far. There's only one way this dance ends, and it's not with a peaceful transfer of power in 2029. The red wave was not a political one. The real red wave will be one of blood, suffering, carnage as America turns in on itself. Old grudges will escalate, rape gangs will roam the land, and political violence will be normalized in a country where there are more guns than people. The future is anything but bright. If you think you'll be all right, you won't be. You might consider yourself one of the chosen ones, with the dark forces that are swirling around the corridors of power, gearing up to take the reins in just over 1 month's time, care nothing for you or your family. They'll kill you as soon as look at you. You're just meat to them. The Army and the National Guard will be under the command of a cruel and capricious psychopath. A psychopath who the Supreme Court have declared will be above the law. A psychopath with the power to pardon anyone found to have committed even the most horrific acts of violence in his name. Your institutions will fail you. The Constitution will not ride in on a white horse to save the day. The chess pieces are all in place. This is America's end game. And no matter how smart you think you are, there are no moves left for those of you who believe in the old-fashioned notions of truth, justice, honor, and democracy. For those who can, get out of here. For those of you trapped in the belly of the beast, stay vigilant, help each other. Have a grab bag ready under the bed in case you need to make a quick getaway. Have a plan in place. Finally, let me say, before this all kicks off, thank you. Thank you for the movies, thank you for the music, the internet, for going into space. Thank you for, albeit reluctantly, helping us out in World War I and II. Thanks for winning the Cold War, for a time at least. The fast food and whatever that stuff you call beer is, we could have done without. But I digress. All that's left to say is goodbye. I wish things had gone differently. I wish we had more time together. But that's always the way, isn't it? You don't know what you've got till it's gone. And America, you're gone. You're all used up. You're like a cartoon character that's already run off the cliff and doesn't begin to fall until it looks down. This is what you voted for. Eyes open. Your own demise. There can be no excuse. Collar up. Face to the wind. You flung yourself ceaselessly into the void. Oh well.
There you go. Ta-da. Ta-da-ba. Yeah, I'm paying. I mean, they pay me. Do you know what I mean? I can give them money.